What have I been reading? I've been reading a stack full of Phantom comics because, the stack is this high and I don't even get time to be reading them during the show. And I'm going to be showing you what Phantom comics I've been reading over the last month. And this is What Have I Been Reading by Brad Kelly. I've been reading some really cracking books, storylines, everything in between. Also, this video is brought to you by Swept, sweeping your floors since 1763. Not really, but you get where I'm coming from. Next minute, some ASMR comes out of it. I read The Phantom, The Boy Detectives. It was a pretty good story. I read The Bat of Berlin Part 1 and Part 2. It was a good story. A little bit hard to get my head around, but it was a good story. That's Part 1. Cover is done by Daniel Picciotto, or Picky for short. He did some amazing work on that cover. He's always doing some great covers. We hadn't seen one from him for a good while, and I was wondering when there was going to come one out, but then it was. So, no need to worry. Okay, we read Part 2 because, I need to catch up on my reading material. So we read Part 2, good cover by Timo Wertz. He did the front cover, and he also did the back cover, which is pretty cool, pretty neat, pretty West Side. We also read the Phantom number 1976, The Highway Robbers. That actually was a pretty good story. I quite enjoyed that one. And it also has Chapter 2 of Operation Domino, which is it's a good story. It's just going way too fast. It's hard to realize what's actually going on in the panels, and you're reading it so fast that before you know it, the chapter's gone. The chapter is finished. Well, there you go. I read Devil in Stockholm. That story was a little weird. It was a little weird because of the big devil head type shape thing. Finally read The Phantom, issue number 1969, The Enter of the Phantom. I hadn't read this. I was going to read it. I was going to read it, but then I didn't, and then I did. And it was a good story. There was bits and pieces to do with the reference shots that I didn't think were quite on point, but all in all, it was a good story. And then we also read The Phantom, issue number 1970, The Stolen Rings. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Brad, why aren't you up to date? I'm not up to date because I'm making this. It takes a lot of effort to make a show like this and to be as good as a host. Then we also read The Phantom number 1978. It's The Marks of the Phantom. And then we also read the full color special celebrating the first 2,000 issues. The Phantom issue number 1972. The Phantom Royal Hero. I sometimes wonder if some of the older stories do really need a sequel after being created, maybe 40, 50, 60 odd years beforehand. Really, do they need a sequel? Maybe they don't, but now they do. I also read the latest issue that came out, The Phantom, number 1979. Oh, we're so close. It's a very, very good story. Very, very good cover art. And even greater storyline. It also has a plus, Operation Domino Part 3, which is pretty good. It's getting somewhere where I still can't understand what's happening in the panels. It's a great story. I hope you enjoyed What Have I Been Reading by Brad Kelly.